Man, it's been common knowledge for a minute that these labels are not your friends. And one of the biggest examples of this is QC and J Prince. In a new interview that just came out with $1 Million Worth of Game with Gillian Wallow, J Prince basically went into detail saying that him and QC are cool now and they came to an understanding after the Takeoff situation that resulted in him losing his life.
Got the call from you, OG, we was a little reluctant to do the interview because, somebody lost their life, it was a sensitive situation. So, we talked, and then when you alerted me that you had sat down with, P from QC, and, everybody saw things eye to eye, and, that really had, was like, okay, well, cool, as long as you see eye to eye with, the people that's most close to him, and y'all got everything figured out, then okay, then you can come speak your truth.
That's what you call unnatural. You know what I mean? They supposed to bury us, not us burying them.
This is having people ask a lot of questions. A lot of people are even saying that this might be some type of agreement. Man, we gotta get into this shit right now, because it's not every day that you see one person's whole crew and group totally be cool with the family that might just be responsible for the killing of their top artist, man. It's crazy. We gotta get into this shit right now, but before we do, man, I'm gonna need y'all to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run up this video. I'm gonna need y'all to check out the merch too. Link in the description at staysafeworld.com. Man, go tap in with that shit. You already know, man. Let's get it. This is like the FBI saying Happy Martin Luther King Day, man, after taking out MLK. Takeoff is being honored by the family that, essentially was responsible for getting rid of him, and his label is saying that they're cool with them now. Like, there's no problem with them at all, man. That's crazy. There's a lot of reasons why there's a problem with this. Number one, these rappers and entertainers, they pay millions of dollars probably to the Prince family to help protect them when they go through Houston. In fact, the Prince family is known as the people that, protect Drake when he goes to Houston, and like everyone that comes through, they encourage you to check in and see what's up. And when you don't, they have a dark side, and they basically try to extort you, allegedly. I made a whole video on this, sort of talking about the dark side of the Prince family, but essentially they have extorted people like NBA Youngboy, who didn't want to check in after their items was stolen from their house.
This Youngboy shit for real. Oh man. Gotta keep playing, bro. This really his house, bro. We really back here, bro. Hey, YB, nigga. Fuck your crib, nigga.
When we was gone, I got a call, you know what I mean? Because the little homie Youngboy place got broke into. People went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right, because they understand that, Youngboy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce, I got your keys to your McLaren, all that shit that they took, and
man, they've done a lot of nefarious things. You could look at Duke the Jeweler. Man, he was gunned down in Houston while they were at a dice game, and this was just a couple months before the Takeoff situation, which was eerily similar, man. So people come to Houston thinking that they're gonna be protected and thinking that it's gonna be a-okay, and then they end up not getting out with their lives, man. So it's just crazy that these labels, that their top artists is just cool with the people that did it, and they came to understanding and realized that it wasn't their fault, allegedly. But that makes no sense, because they were there for them, they were there for that purpose of visiting the Prince family, which really shows that honestly neither these labels or the family really care at all. And people even could probably say in the direction of some type of sacrifice, man, especially because of the fact that ongoing label dispute with Offset, for instance. that whole situation stems from the fact that they were still paying the Migos the same amount as when they first signed them, the same percentage now, years later, after they've made platinum on platinum hits for them, basically having them in some type of slave deal. And one of those artists died while they're still signed to the label, man, it's honestly in the label's best interest, because now their plays and streams go crazy and all that music is owned by the label, and the label ultimately benefits the most from that shit rather than TAKEOFF's family or anything like that. That's why it's just very unfortunate. And you know, it could really be an agreement, you know, not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but it definitely makes sense that they would be, you know, all in favor of being cool, because at the end of the day, they lose more beefing with them than just accepting the fact that they did that, and then, you know, they're making hella bread at the end of the day too. It's just like, yo, this shit could have been a real ass sacrifice like that, because the display of, or lack of display of, humanity and caringness, you know, in that situation, from all the videos that we saw earlier of the whole night and J Prince Jr. essentially walking away from TAKEOFF's dead body, man, it just shows they didn't care. You know, it shows they were callous. And imagine that this was all set up by a QC, you know, it would never come out like that. But at the end of the day, you know, the dots are lining up, and it just makes no sense that the label would be cool with the people essentially responsible for this situation, you know? Who would have thought? At the end of the day, really, who would have thought? And it's just sad that it goes down like this, but this is like the biggest example that these labels don't care, man. They just want to get their check at the end of the day. They don't really care at the end of the day whether or not their artist dies or not, because generally they make more money when their artists die. Look at X, man. Their streams go up to billions. They're seen as a legend instead of just slowly dying off or becoming independent, which they probably would have ended up doing once they got out of their QC contract if they weren't signed for life. So it's like the label really gains the most out of this situation, so that's why they're cool with them. It's unfortunate, but you know, that's just how the industry is, man. The music industry was originally ran by the mafia, and a lot of the practices from the business are still mafia-based practices, especially when it comes to the percentages and publishing and masters sort of getting cut off and siphoned off for cash, man. It's a whole mafia practice, so it just makes sense that they're gonna move like the mafia. It seemed like an old school mafia hit, man, at a party just getting gunned down, man. It's crazy, man. But we gotta definitely let me know in the comments what y'all think about that shit. You think that it's a conspiracy theory, or you think that the dots are pointing out that something is not right, man? Let me know in the comments. Real stay safe shit. Y'all already know what's going on, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. Peace.